Hi there, welcome to my hobby bench. My name is Ken, and today we're going to finish up building our AMT 132nd Studio Series TIE Fighter. So, let's get into it. When we left off, we had the entire model painted and ready for final assembly. So to begin that, we're going to take a step back from where we were. We're going to go back to stage 13. We're going to insert our clear pieces and close up things. I think though, before I do that, I might have to go and unmask our masked up pieces here and give our lights a test, see if they still work. So let's do that first. So we'll peel off this masking material. Alright, here we are now. We're going to hook this up. I believe I took a little bit, the masking was a little bit off and took a little extra paint off. I'll have to touch that up, but first I need to see if the lights work. There we go. So our two blasters are lighting up. Our inside is lighting up nicely, as you can see on camera there. And, oh nice, we have both our ion engines lit up too. That's perfect. So, I'm just going to touch up a little paint just on the edge here, edge of our blaster, and then I will come back and we will put in their clear parts. Alright, so I touched that up. I went around it with some of the Tamiya liquid surface primer. I believe it's just the same stuff they have in the can, just it's been decanted or not even placed in a can and placed in a bottle instead. So I put that around, and then I came back in with our XF82 and just a fine little brush here. Actually, it wasn't even that brush. It was actually a Citadel starter brush I used to just gonna go around there with both the primer. Then I cleaned it up. Then I went in with the XF82, and it was 2 coats of primer I went around with. Even though it's a white primer, it does seem to have carried on with their light blocking and done a good job. So we'll move this out of the way and we'll get on to our clear parts. So here we go. So looks like our 2 glass beads, 58 for the top and 59 for the front. Alright, so what do we got here? Closest to me is 59. It only actually has one sprue mounting point actually attached to the sprue. pretty good. And this part, the inside part, I'm going to go around and glue it together. Again, just using our extra thin glue. Remember, this glue does not like paint, so I don't want to start wiping paint across. I'm just doing touch and flow. So I just take a brush full here, and I just tap it in there, and then just let it flow. There we go. Just like that. There we go, that'll hold together. And again, that looks really nice and thick and heavy. So, we'll now be able to put on our hatch. So, we'll come in, and it goes this way. So there's this notch, or this, I guess, peg here, and a notch right here. Hope you can see that. So the windows go to the rear, I guess. There we go. Just like that. Looking good. And then our front windshield. With the front windshield, you have two options. There's the external option and the internal option. So we have our big spot here that's again, another peg basically, and there are two different spots it could go to. So we have spot number one, which is right here. There we go. And this is how it looked from the outside in the movies. And then we have spot number two, which is all the way up here, which has no bar coming across the center here. So which is what you would see from all the shots of the TIE Fighter from the inside in the movies. You'd always see them having this big clear spot as opposed to being over here and having this bar in the center. So the choice is yours. I'll probably just glue it in place like this, how it was seen from the outside, because that's pretty much what you're seeing here anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and get these attached, and then we can start working on our base. Just as a side note, instead of using the Tamiya Extra Thin, my normal glue, I'm actually going to now use some Revel Contacta Professional. It's a thicker glue, so it's closer to a gel, but not really. What I can do with that is I can put it on these parts and then set it in. I don't have to worry about the extra thin possibly running somewhere and destroying my paint. So that's what I'm going to do here. This has a long needle of yeah, you should be able to see that. There's a long needle for application of glue. Actually, I'm going to take some paper towel, make sure it's running properly first. There it goes. So, we'll try to bring it a little bit closer. So here we have everything attached now. Like I said, I used the Revel Contactia glue. If you don't have something like this, you could also look at something like the Tester's tube glue. Just use it in moderation. I would recommend squirting some out on something like a piece of masking tape or something and using a Q-tip to apply it liberally if you're not used to how fast it can come out of a tube. But there we go. Lights all on. And we got that. It's looking great. I was getting ahead of myself by saying next we're going to work on the stand, which is incorrect. Next we're going to work on the wings. Let's get some wings on this thing, and then we'll come back and work on the stand. Here we are with our wings now, and we've done stage 15 and painted our wings, at least the panels, and now we've got to assemble the other parts here. We have the struts, and we got one of these caps for this side, and then we go in on the other side, and then we're going to put on our ends. So we will pull one wing out for now, put it aside, and for all these parts here, I was actually thinking about it ahead of time. If you can see, I went and, this end. I engraved the numbers on the back for what parts they are. This is a number 12. And so all these are numbered so I know what's going to go where. So we will take our wing, put it same way they had it for the diagram. Sideways like that. 12 is going to come over here. So 15 is one of our inner hubs, which is this one here. And which way's up? So if I look closely, there is this round piece here. This round piece here is the top, from what I'm seeing on the directions. You see right here, they're pointing to that and saying that is your top. So, right there. And then this one is going to come here. What do we got next? Let's see. Let's do it like at the lottery and just start picking. 10. Where does 10 go? 10 goes up here. I got another 12. We don't need. A 9. A 9, it goes right here. An 11. 11 goes here. And now these should be short ones, 13 and 18. Sorry, 13 and 8, not 18. Oh, wrong parts. Let's go to our short ones. That's a long one. These are short ones. Here's a 13. So we'll go right here. And this will be an 8, I would guess. Yes it is. So there we go. So I'll start getting this in place and I'll be right back. Okay, so now that I kind of got one in here, I know what I'm doing. I can show you guys. So this one here has the pegs, so the pegs are going to go in the holes. There's some on this side that do not have the pegs on them, so they'll just have to be lined up for the other ones. So there we go, that's first peg in, and there we go, pushes in. There we go. We're going to glue it from the other side with the pegs. So this one here also has the pegs. So we'll put our end ones in. Like that. There we go. Next one in. One last one in. So there we go. I think that's in all the way. We'll know for sure when we go to the other side. So that's these two here, and this one here, which do not have pegs. But we'll just put them in their place for now. Just like that. This one actually grips up here pretty nice. Let's see if this one does too. A little bit. And there we go. So we'll be careful here and flip this over now. No, that didn't sound good. All right. So what we're gonna do? Just the one fell out. Okay. Okay, for the other side now, we'll take this round one, and this little notch here. This little protrusion is going to be going up to the top. And what did we say was top on this one? Top is this way. So this is my top. So we got our pegs. Just see how it's going to fit before I start throwing some glue around. So we also got pegs all around here. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty comprehensive fit in there. There we go, get one in. Maybe that'll help. Oh. There we go. So we'll go in like that. I'm going to use my contactia again, so I don't get glue flowing everywhere. So go around each peg, because I kind of know I'm going to be trying to get this on a few ways. Okay, let's come back in. No. There, it actually went in better than I thought. Okay, so there's that. Oh yeah, push it in. So it's locked in really good. There we go. Still have this piece keeps falling out. I could put some glue on there, but I'm just gonna be patient and see where things take me. Okay, so we got that in. Now we can go do the same thing. Looks like the same numbers again. Towards there. There we go. Okay. So we're pushing these right through. And then we'll put a little glue into these little holes. Okay. And I'm going to put a little bit more. Just along like that. Yeah. That should hold nicely. There we go. That feels nice and secure. Yep. Okay. So I'm going to go around gluing the rest in, and we'll be right back. Okay, here we are with the struts on. Now I'm going to put on these little end pieces. Oh, sorry, these little end pieces. Right here. Now, I didn't go ahead and pre-number these, but there's only two numbers. There's only 6 and 7. And 6 goes along the top and the 7s go on the sides. The 6s are a little shorter than the 7s. So as we sort through, we can see what's longer, what's shorter. So here we go. We have a 7 and a 6 right there. So we'll take our 6. You can see you have little notches right here. And you have the corresponding spots for them to line up right there. So, oh, no, sorry. Maybe I have that backwards. Maybe it's just the picture that makes it look that way. I guess the 7s are the shorter ones. There we go. Yeah. That's better. So these need to line up like that. There we go. And 6 over here should be able to come in like this. Oop. And sit in there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get these pieces put in place and glued in, and we'll come back and see how it looks. So here I am putting on these edge pieces here, and I'm just taping them in temporarily just to kind of give them a little extra time for that glue to bind into place. One thing to note though with these parts I've noticed is the angles are different on each end of these frame pieces. So if you try to put it in the wrong way, this is the right way. I'm going to zoom in here for you. There we go. So that's the correct way of having it. But if I try to put it in this way, you can see it doesn't really want to go. So just keep that in mind as you go. This side's not going to line up, and this side obviously isn't going to line up either. If you just flip it around, it'll go in there perfectly. So just keep that in mind. That's one wing done. Now I'm going to get to the other one here, and then we'll get them on the ship. And then we'll be done. And now we have 2 wings done. So I've kind of had these taped up for at least a few hours. Actually, for me it was longer than a few hours, but it didn't need that long. Now we can go ahead and we'll take this tape off, and then we'll attach it. So I'll be right back. Okay, we have the tape removed now. So I'm going to test fit these wings onto our starfighter here. And you can see here, match the shapes up. And again, the top will be the part with this little tab sticking out. So we'll bring it around like that. And we'll zoom it over and see how well it fits. There we go. Perfect. Just like that. Alright, I have one wing on now. I'm just gonna put the other one on. Right now I'm using the Tamiya cement, just the white cap. It's a bit of a thicker. It's good for, you know, putting larger areas together. So we're just going to go around. Let's go around here and glue up the entire surface. There we go. As you can see, it's already eating into the paint, like glues like to do. Okay, so take our part here, make sure our little pieces to the top, push it in, and just like that, there we go. So it should be nice and level, like that. That leaves our last pieces are these covers, and they can only go sort of one way. You can see it looks like, well, yeah, actually it can go, no, it can only go one way. So we have 3 notches and we have 2 pins, so it's only going to be able to go the direction of at least what 2 of the pins can do. So it would go in like that. So I'm actually going to pluck that out. I'm going to use something a little more precision. I don't want to use my Tamiya extra thin with all this paint around. So I'm going to use my contact glue. Let's put some around the lip here of that, this part here. It's really close to the camera. A little bit around these pins, like that. And then we can get her in place. There we go. Just be careful if you do get any glue in your fingers not to touch anything that's painted, because you will smear that paint. So we'll come around again. Grab the very last piece to the puzzle. If anybody else has ever done that as a kid or even as an adult, where you're building a puzzle with someone else, you gotta hide that one piece so you're the person who gets to put the last piece in place. I remember doing that as a kid a few times against my sisters. Sorry, Vicky and Lisa. Alright, so we'll again put this in. You can only go the one way with the notches, and that is it. That is the final part of our ship. This is so exciting. I'm glad you guys could join me on this journey, but we're not completely done. We still have to do a stand, but there it is. Unfortunately, I can't even zoom out any further. This is as far as my camera can zoom out. And I think, yeah, as you can see, it's huge. So, and the next thing we're going to have to do is we'll start working on our base. So, I'll get all my stuff ready for that, and we'll be right back. Here I am with the base now, and as you can see, this little dome base here, hard to pick up. What I have a button for the laser blasters, and I have the on-off switch for power. And my original idea was to have a 9-volt battery powering this. I have tested it. 9 volts is perfectly fine. It will work, and it can just be tucked underneath here. Now, if you're putting in these switches and buttons, you have to make sure you don't get down too low, because there's actually quite a bit behind these switches. So you go too low, it's not going to fit without popping up the side of the base. So you need to go in higher. Okay? And to get the wires to come out from the bottom of the pole, you're going to need to cut out some of this bottom right in here so that your wires can come out. So that's what I would be doing here. The other option was to go with an actual plug-in and have plug-in power. Again, I would still have to come in fairly deep in to get this in here to be able to plug in. So that is another option. However, I've decided to not go with this base, and instead what I've opted to do is order something here from Cosmic Scale Models. Now they have a large selection of these sort of acrylic bases that you can put your models on. And this one here, obviously we have our Imperial symbol, and we can light it up from the bottom. It does have this plastic we can peel off to have the light go through. And to go with it, from Cosmic Scale Models, we also have an acrylic base. This is a small base from Cosmic Scale Models, and it you have to assemble it and kind of glue it together, and then you would have actually I have these ones put aside because these are the ones I'm going to use. You kind of glue it together using a special glue, and you're going to have a stand here. You can put extra lights in around it here, and then when this sits on top, you're going to have the light shining through. So this is what I'm going to use. It does come with enough sides and ends that you can do multiple options. So you can have long side, you could have 2 switches, which they do give you a couple of switches and a port here for your direct power, so you can plug it in. And there's just some blank ones that have nothing cut into them, and then it has should be 6 of these clear pieces, so you can put them along your edges to hold up your faceplate. That way the faceplate can be lifted in and out if there's ever an issue. I also managed to get from Cosmic Scale Models a support rod holder. It does come with a support rod in it. I don't really need it for this kit, obviously, because the TIE Fighter had one and it's all been put in place, and it's not coming out. So this will just be placed on the inside to hold the rod after it's been drilled and gone through here. You'll have something in this base here to hold it in place. So I think the best way to show that off is to actually start building it. I do have a specialty glue for it. It is I have a Weld-On 4. It's meant for hard acrylic, polycarbonate, polyethylene. Yeah, so this is what I'm going to be using. So I'm going to get things set up, and we'll start assembly. Okay, here I am all set up. I have a syringe here for using the Weld-On 4. That's just to kind of, so I can control as it's going in. This isn't really, it's not a sharp needle, it's a blunted needle. You can order these on eBay. I think you get them in bags of 100. So basically all I need to do is just come in here and hold my pieces and just run some of the Weld-On in through there. So let's give it a shot. Okay, that was a little bit more difficult than I would have thought. I actually had to use a pipe wrench here to get that cap off. And then underneath the cap there is a cut this out thing here. I just punched a hole right now because all I'm going to be doing right now, sticking a needle in there, drawing some liquid out, and that's it. So after a couple of minutes here, this is already solidified up. It's maybe been 3-4 minutes. Just going to go ahead now and attach these side pieces. After a few more moments, we managed to get our box all tightly put together. It wasn't long at all. So now what we're going to do, we're going to put our little spacers in here. And the reason we want our spacers is because that is what's going to hold this. This is probably not going to work too well right now with without those glued in, but you kind of get the idea. So it'll allow this to sit down in there and be nice and flush and not fall all the way to the bottom. So I'm gonna get all 6 of these put in place, and then we'll start working on getting our other base put together, and then we can look at mounting our model and getting our lights all put together. Alright, next we have our support rod holder. You see I put it together here, but it did snap off this little bit here. I think I was a little too rough with it. It is tight. I found it best to put it on a solid surface like the table and then just kind of get it into position and just push. I found that I had no problems after that if I did that. So I'm not too worried because it'll glue all right in. So I'm going to glue this all together and we'll be right back. Okay, we have our pieces together now. This will get glued in here once I know for sure the exact positioning of our rod coming through. Other than that, I did put in the power port here for the plug-in to come in. I'm going to go around now. I'm going to put some LED strip lighting all around in the inside here as best I can. And then we'll come back and see how that looks. So here we have our base put together. I did put in the strip lighting and just testing it out here. As you can see, it really lights up nicely on our top here. So I'm going to carry on here now. I gotta drill a hole here in the middle and run our TIE Fighter down inside here. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm kind of going through my wiring now. I've got a light switch here, or a power switch here on the one end, and here's the power input. So I'm not an expert at doing this sort of wiring, but I am going to try my best, and we'll see what I can come up with. Alright, so now we are going to see if this is going to work or not. Alright, I don't think I need these two light wires I put in here. Now it's time to do some testing. Nope, nothing yet. Okay, so time to do some modifying. Okay, I've been trying to track down why it wouldn't go. I did track down the fact that the the button here for the blasters, actually the negative wire, I guess the black wire, actually does have to go to the red ones. Only makes sense, it needs a power source coming in before it goes out. So I got that, and I think the other issue I have might be that my negatives and positives here are reversed. First time model lighter, so quite possibly I did connect my positive and negatives from my battery source here to see if it would work, and it does. So to me that says that's probably what my issue is. So I'm gonna desolder these and try to put them on correctly, and then we'll come back. Okay, I've gone and reversed my wires now. I'll test it out again. Hope for the best. No, nothing. Oh. Try to switch. Oh, there we go. We got our lights going on the inside. We sure do. You can see that. And our rear lights. And let's see if we did okay with the button. Ready? Yes, there it goes. It works. All right. I think we did well. So, I did have one issue though. When I was putting this lovely stand together, it did snap the piece off right here when I was putting this switch in. So I'm going to have to come back in with a little bit more of my solvent, the Weld-On 4, and I'll tighten that up again, or glue it in again, and then I'm going to put the internal stand in here. We'll get it set up with our base here, and then we should be done. So let's take a look at things after I come back. Alright, I got this corner glued back in, and the observant of you will be wondering, hey, how is he going to get this tube run through here without the wires going through it? Well, to you I say, good question. And the answer is going to have to be, I'm going to cut these wires, run them through, and then solder them back together. So if you're following along, make sure you don't do like I did, and you make sure you get your wires through here first. So I'll get to work on that, and I'll be right back. Okay, a bit of a mess going on here, but I do have it run through here now with our little wires coming out the bottom. So that means I can take and put this in place. In theory. Should probably. There we go. Just like that. Okay. I could epoxy this on, but I'm hoping I don't have to. Okay. There we have it. And now we need to kind of find where this needs to go. Okay. Try and give this a bit of a squirt in here. Let's see how that works. Again, we will put that in. Make sure we're in the right spot. The last thing I need to do, I hope, is take off the protective film on the back of this. So let's now I'm going to have to cut this. There we go. There we go. Just like that. Now we can bring this back down. Stand up our model. Took all my wires back in. Now, if I was really good at wiring, I'd actually have a better wiring solution, but I don't. So we'll see how this goes. I'm not going to actually glue this plate in because I want to have it be able to be removed if, you know, situation dictates that it needs to be. There we go. Now, we'll see how this goes. There we go. Turn it on. Oh yeah. There we go. Let's turn off some lights here and get a good look at this. You can see in the cockpit there. You can see the base nicely lit up. You can see my blasters. Nice. And that cockpit, that looks great with that light in there. That is terrific. And we have both our ion engines lit up. I do have a little bit of light leak here along the edge of my stand. If you ever follow Lou Del Meso over at Aztec Dummy, you can actually see he used one of these sets as well. And what he did is he put electrical tape around the very edge to kind of lighten that you know, extreme light, and then to kind of block the light leak. So that's an option, and the tape could easily be peeled off, but there we have it. All right, well, I think it's time now for some beauty shots for you guys, and okay, so here we have it, looking really good. It's very exciting to see this all completed. We have our button down here, which lights up our blasters. You can see the inside lights. And of course, we have our engines in the rear. Now, I would highly recommend this kit to anybody who's looking for a nice TIE Fighter kit. It is on the large size, but you know what? I think it's really worthwhile. The detail is amazing. The fit is amazing. The few issues I had were caused by me. There's our ion engines. So yeah, I would definitely rate this kit high. But thank you very much for coming along with me on this journey to build this beautiful model that we've created here. And I would definitely say take a look at Cosmic Scale models for their bases, because these bases are phenomenal. So thanks again. You guys take care, and we'll see you on the next build.